Larger multicellular animals need a circulatory system to transport substances to and from the cells of the body. Your body is made of trillions of cells, and this is a huge number of cells. For all of them to get oxygen and different material, there has to be a circulatory system, a transport system, which transports substances, oxygen, food from the cells, from or to the cells of the body. This circulatory system is made of the heart and the blood vessels where the heart moves. This is the heart, and these are the blood vessels where the blood moves, and the blood which flows through these blood vessels. Think of the blood vessels as a transport system زي أنفاق بيعدي منها مثلا مترو أنفاق علشان ينقل الأشخاص للأماكن المناسبة. Now, what is the need for the circulatory system? What does the circulatory system transport? The blood is pumped or pushed in a closed system made of the heart and the blood vessels. As the blood travels around the body, it collects material from some places and unloads them in other places. It picks up oxygen from the lungs, then transports it to the rest of the body. It picks carbon dioxide from the cells and transports it back to the heart, then back to the lungs in order to get rid of them. Now, this is your circulatory system, the heart and the blood vessels. Blood vessels move from the heart to every organ in your body to provide these cells and organs with nutrients and oxygen. Now, what are mammals? We are mammals, living organisms that give birth. You and your cat and your dogs, we are mammals. We need blood to transport the following. We need the blood to transport the oxygen. It transports the oxygen from the lungs to all the other parts of the body. It also transports carbon dioxide from all the parts of the body and back to the lungs. The nutrients which are in the gut, which have been digested, they are also transported through blood vessels to all the parts of the body. Urea is a waste product formed inside the liver. It needs to be transported to the kidneys in order to excrete and get rid of it. So the blood carries the urea from one organ, which is the liver, to other organs, which are the kidneys. There are other substances transported by the blood: hormones, antibodies, and other materials. Also, the blood carries the heat, which is generated in the cellular respiration and distributes it among the body. These are small unicellular organisms. Their names are Euglena, amoeba, paramecium. They all live in a water environment. They are only seen by a microscope. The whole body is just one cell. That's why we call them unicellular organisms: Euglena, amoeba, and paramecium. They don't have circulatory system. Can you guess why? A unicellular organism has a small body. They don't need special systems to get the oxygen, such as the lungs in the mammals or the gills in the fish. These are organs which get the oxygen from the environment in larger animals. But with unicellular organisms, they have a small body. They are smaller than a dot, therefore, they don't need a specialized organ or system in order to get the oxygen. How do they get the oxygen? Unicellular organisms get oxygen by diffusion. This means that the oxygen surrounding them in the environment, simply the oxygen goes through their cell membrane. This motion or movement of oxygen through the cell membrane is called diffusion. The rest of the body, the rest of the cell can use the oxygen. So oxygen is going through the cell membrane, which is also the cell surface. سطح الخلية هنا هو السيل membrane، والحركة التلقائية بتاعت الأكسجين بأنها تدخل من خارج من الانفايرمنت، من البيئة اللي هي عايشة فيها لجوه. It is called diffusion. So unicellular organisms get oxygen by diffusion through the cell surface or the cell membrane, and the rest of the body or the cell uses the oxygen. What is the surface area to the volume ratio? You have here 3 cubes. You can imagine that they are cells. If you have a small cell and the length of the side is 1, therefore its surface area is 6 and its volume is 1. The ratio means dividing the surface area by the volume gets you a large ratio of 6. As the cube becomes bigger, the length of the side is 2, therefore the surface area is 24. But the volume, which is 2 times 2 times 2, is 8. And therefore the ratio between the surface area and the volume of the cell is just 3. It is decreasing. What if the volume gets bigger and the side length becomes 4? The surface area now is so large, it is 96, and the volume is 64, and the ratio between the surface area and the volume decreased. So as the volume increases, the ratio between the surface area and the volume decreases. You can think of the surface area as the cell membrane surrounding the cell, and the volume is the space or the cytoplasm inside the cell. The surface area represents the oxygen that the cell gets, or the oxygen supply. The volume of the cell is the demand it needs, the amount of oxygen it needs. The ratio of the supply to the demand is the ratio between the surface area and the volume. Unicellular organisms have a large surface area to volume ratio. As a result, they can get a lot of oxygen, and this oxygen can meet their needs and demand, and it is enough for them. As a result, the cell can get its oxygen through the cell membrane, and there is no need for respiratory system. So all of these cells get their needs from the environment directly by diffusion because they have a large surface area to volume. What about my cat Tony? My cat Tony is made of billions of cells. So now the surface area becomes small, the surface area to volume ratio becomes small. This means that the organism, like a cat, needs a lot of oxygen, but it cannot get that oxygen through the cell membrane. Instead, it has a specialized respiratory system. It has lungs, like we have lungs, in order to get oxygen, and it has a circulatory system, heart and blood vessels, in order to provide the cell, to give the cell these needs of materials. Now, the single circulatory system. The fish has a circulatory system which is described as single. Single means one. The blood, this is the heart of the fish. It pumps the blood into the gills. The gills are the respiratory organ in the fish. It gets the oxygen. And then the blood circulates to the body and returns to the heart in a cycle. The heart pumps the blood to the gills, then to the body, and this is the second step. And then it returns back to the heart in a closed circuit. We are different. We have a double circulatory system where the blood is pumped to a respiratory system, the lungs, and then it returns back to the heart. Then the heart pumps this blood to all the body organs. First, the body organs return the blood, which is deoxygenated. It does not contain enough oxygen. The heart pumps the blood to the lungs, where it releases carbon dioxide and picks up oxygen. This blood returns back to the heart, which pumps it to all organs of the body in a closed circuit. So our system is a double circulatory system because it has circulation to the lungs and another circulation to the body organs. An example of organisms which have a double circulatory system are the mammals, the human beings. The blood is pushed to the respiratory system or organ, then back to the heart, then to the rest of the body.